Hi, I'm Dr. Tuepenz.
I'm Gaplord.
And we are the Juice Crew Villans. Y'all see when it come out. I'll be doing all kind of shit with that shit.
Good day, everyone. It's me, Gaplord, your friend extraordinaire, and today we are here to talk about some important topics that are affecting our community and are in dire need of addressing. So today we bring to you on this amazing night the topic we present: are there two different types of black people? Let me repeat that for the people in the back who may have not heard me. Are there two different types of black people? And when I mean two different types of black people, I mean, are there ghetto blacks and regular blacks? And which category do you fall in?
That's a good question.
So, Dr. Tuepenz, let's start this conversation off with, what's the difference between a ghetto black and a regular black? And first of all, let's answer the question, are there two different types of black people?
Oh, undoubtedly. Absolutely. Positively.
Okay.
Yes.
So what's the difference between a ghetto black and a regular black?
Well, the great Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson, he calls them the blacks. And as we know, on the show, we've defined the blacks as people who identify as black but behave like mindless animals.
So isn't another word that people use for ghetto blacks?
Niggas. And the only thing worse than one nigga?
There's two of them.
But you know what Charleston White said? He said some real stuff, man. He said, everybody need a nigga friend.
Why?
Because niggas got good qualities too. But
Like,
then that's levels to the word nigga though. Because we talking about the never ignorant getting goes accomplished. Then you got niggas that's just like, shoot them up like the Crips off in Compton.
I mean, we can redefine every word.
Right. And that's what
So it can be like, I can redefine, it means this to me. But we know, and truly and deeply, undoubtedly, that's like, when somebody call you an N-word, like you acting like an N-word, you're going to be like, that's not good.
Depends.
So you take it as a compliment?
Sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Amazing. Sensational. So what's the difference between a ghetto black and a regular black?
I mean, simple. I mean, ghetto is ghetto. You know what I'm saying? The ghetto black is a person who may not have the best in public behavior, may not have the most education in their background in terms of just basic comprehension of words and numbers, extremely violent, you know, like I already mentioned, loud in public. And then regular black people, just regular black people that get up, go to work, do their best to treat their neighbor like themselves. It's simple put.
So, so you said ghetto black people are loud in public.
Yeah.
So, do you have any like anecdotal experiences of when ghetto black people have been loud in public?
I mean, I'm gonna just use myself. You know, I've been very loud in public. You know, y'all seen it. If you know, you know. That's one of those things. If you know, you know. But you know, we see it on a. You go in every Walmart, you're gonna see some loud black people more than likely. And it's sometimes like when I used to go to the mall and I see some of the, you know, my partners from the east side, he be like, you know, it's like you damn near watching monkeys.
Oh. Whoa.
But it's damn near. Because if you let a monkey loose in the mall, they can be like, run around. That's how niggas be in the mall. Like, look at this shit, cuz. This shit tight than a motherfucker, nigga.
So I kind of get I wouldn't say monkeys. Monkeys look a little wild.
Man, exactly. Niggas be in the mall wilding.
But I do know like black people.
Niggas act like they
I wouldn't say black people, I would say
it's like,
ghetto.
Okay, the term, niggas act like they never been nowhere before.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the ghetto blacks.
They be excited though. They don't be trying to be disruptive. They just be so excited to be out the ghetto. They just act crazy.
So I went to Dallas one time with a ghetto black, We sound like it's a foreign race. I went to Dallas one time with a group of people. It was a ghetto black with us. And he ain't never been to Dallas. But he can control himself.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, oh, look at the bills. Nigga, speed up, nigga. See everybody driving fast, cuz. It's like, whoa. It's like, see, the ghetto blacks, man, it's like they just, like you said, they haven't been introduced to some of these things.
Yeah.
It's like they confined to their neighborhood usually.
Yeah.
It's like when they get outside of that neighborhood, it's like, whoa, it's a bigger world.
A whole new world.
So, that kind of segues basically into my next question. Have you ever been a ghetto black? And
Absolutely.
Are you a ghetto black?
Absolutely.
So you are a ghetto black?
I'm going to always be ghetto. I can't help it.
Amazing. Sensational.
But just because you're ghetto don't mean you have to act ghetto everywhere you go.
So if you're not acting... So you act ghetto some places?
Yeah.
Give me
like
examples.
At the house.
You act ghetto at home?
The only place.
So what are some examples you acting ghetto at home, if you don't mind sharing?
I talk that what you know jive. I use somewhat inappropriate insults. I'm a bit aggressive in my nature. You know what I'm saying? But I do it just because I'll be excited. It's fun. I kind of mess around with it. So once you kind of been in that and it's a part of you. You know what I'm saying? You just because you were that in the past, don't you have to be that now. But I do it, at the house around brethren.
So when you're around white people, you kind of tap dance?
Nah, I just play into the culture, whatever's around me. I just adapt to wherever I'm around.
What they call what they call AKA code switching?
Yeah. Everybody should code switch. What's wrong with that?
I mean, I don't know. I don't do that.
And when I say code switch, like, I'm just not using a certain language that everybody else isn't used to. I'm not going to go somewhere where the majority of the people are behaving like this and moving like this and then try to bring the way I move with them. Now, I don't change who I am. I still talk like how I talk, but I'm not going to be using a lot of profanity. I'm probably not going to be as insulting. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still going to be me. I'm going to crack my jokes and I'm going to do my thing. But I ain't like, hey, how you doing? Oh, my name is Rodney and I'm glad to be here with you guys. Nah, I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I mean, yeah, I just, switch it up. Like, because everybody, even when I'm around other black people that don't want to hear people talk like that. Like my elders, I don't really do a lot of profanity or doing, insulting remarks around them like that.
I don't think we should. But even
unless they don't mind.
Because I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect myself, but I do try to work on speaking to how I speak to people, my peers, the same way I speak to my coworkers.
Yeah,
I don't want to be saying. I don't want to be calling my peers, "Hey, nigga," and I'm not calling my coworkers. I should have the same. Yeah, I don't actually want to even use that word no more. But that's just me personally.
Right.
I don't take offense to people using it because I'm not.
With the woke shit.
Can we? Yeah, I'm not. What we call it? I'm not sensitive.
Oh, so, yeah.
So I don't care. You can use any derogatory term. You call me Niggers. It doesn't bother me. Any type of word you want to use, it's like okay. It doesn't affect my day. Words don't affect me because that means you have control over me, and no one has control over me but me. So you've been a ghetto black, and you're still a ghetto black.
Yes.
Okay, I was ghetto black. I'm not ghetto black anymore. So that's right. So,
well, let me ask you this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't what it means to be black ghetto? Ain't that what the average person?
No.
Ain't that what it supposed to mean?
Yeah. So when you identify with black culture, typically it's a lot of ghetto, yeah. Like twerking and.
But see, I don't even identify with black culture though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't identify with black culture. I identify with good culture, like really godly culture. But I used to identify with that shit. If I take off this shirt and you see all my tattoos, it's wokey woke. Yeah, so I was at one point in my life, I identified with everything woke. And I hate to say this on camera, but I was biased and I was disliking white people. But I love all y'all now. I was misguided. I was misled. I was led astray. I'm no longer led astray. But I don't identify with ghetto black culture anymore.
Right.
And I try to even remove I don't even, so if I see somebody doing it on social media, the twerk, I delete them or I just ignore it. If I see it, I was like, man, this ain't black. That's not really black culture.
Undoubted.
Yeah, so we have identified as black culture as lately, but that's not true black culture in this tradition. Like when I think of black culture, I think of like Booker T. Washington.
Right.
Like he's one of the greatest blacks that ever lived.
What was the era called when they first got out of slavery? And it was the damn. What was that era called?
It has an era.
It has an era when they was doing their thing out here.
Yeah, but if y'all ain't read the Booker T. Washington book, it's one of the most amazing books you can ever read, and he's sensational.
It's a good story that people should tap into.
Yeah, Clarence Thompson's book is amazing as well, but he ain't no Booker T. Ain't no Booker T. But anyway, so could you give some examples in your life where you had ghetto black behavior? And then I want you to give some examples when you had regular black behavior. Like, could you think back to your childhood when it's like, man, I really acting like a ghetto.
Busting out windows in the neighborhood, just vandalizing stuff, instigating fights, being over insulting, bullying people for things that I consider to be not a part of black culture. You go into class, oh man, you whack, you ain't black, you ain't real. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the base of my jokes and my insults.
Did you ever bully anybody for like talking proper English? Did you look at them differently?
Nah, I never looked at them differently. But I mean, if you wasn't doing anything that I was doing, I was gonna talk about you. If you wasn't in my lane and doing it like into the stuff I was into, which was basically ghetto black culture, then I had an insult for you. Whether it's talking proper, going to class, respecting your mama's wishes, any of that. I'm gonna talk about you. So
I got some more questions for your ass. So how did you think you became ghetto?
Oh man, fucking rap music, damn videos, watching that stuff, man. I fed into it because I wasn't raised like that. But kids that grow up in the hood or whatever, when you go outside and you see some of those same behaviors that you're hearing in the rap music, you naturally gravitate a little bit more than you probably should when it's just a form of entertainment. None of the rappers on these songs ever told me to go out and do none of that stuff, but I was very heavily influenced in it, and it led to me kind of, becoming very ghetto. The people I used to hang around with, too. I was around some ghetto people.
So your community and music.
Yeah. But I would definitely put on the music first.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that, the music in my community. Like I said, I went to one school, and my behavior was totally different. And then I went to a named school, and my behavior totally started to change because I started to adapt to my community. But even though that community made me uncomfortable because that's not what I was used to dealing with, I kind of had to adapt to, I would say survive, but it's really to adapt to kind of fit in. Because I would survive either way. I was just probably been picked on or something.
Yeah, I used to get picked on. That's why I just stayed away.
And I ain't never been picked on, unfortunately. Not saying no one's exempt for being picked on, but no matter how big you are, whatever. So I was once ghetto, and I started being ghetto probably around. The first signs of me being ghetto was probably like 8th grade.
That's when a lot of people.
Like 1998. But that's when 97 is when I first started really indulging in that. I was all submerged in the ghetto, the hood culture.
Yeah. I think I got there in like 95. Whenever I got to Moon Middle School.
Yeah. So I didn't want to say the school.
I wouldn't even say that. Even at Dewey, you know what I'm saying? It was still kind of ghetto up there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we was good kids, but I remember people fighting at recess. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Talking about Dewey?
Yeah. It was kind of
so
ghetto,
at Longfellow, we had people fighting, but that was a decent school. We had some teachers who cared.
We did too. We had some cool teachers.
We had some, that's the last time, 6th grade at Jefferson, that's the last time I remember teachers caring. And then from there on, until college, to Langston.
You used to be able to live a good life off being a school teacher.
No, so we ain't gonna get into school pay because that's a different story. I disagree, but
I'm talking about at one point people was living decent off of it. I mean, I wouldn't. You
still live decent.
You gotta live decent, but you
gotta have your priorities in order.
Yeah, that's what I would say. If you're gonna be a teacher, I would just have some.
But teachers been living the same. They worked in the summers. They did because you get paid your salary basically.
Yeah, but that's why you gotta have your summer your summer joints lined up. Don't be just at the house loafing off.
Okay, so you became ghetto from music and your surroundings.
Yeah.
Amazing. Sensational. So how did you overcome that?
By realizing it ain't the right way to be.
Did you want to overcome? Do you want to overcome? Because she said you still have to ghetto.
Nah, I mean, the ghetto in me is, I still got away the good parts of it, you know, from running around with the neighborhood clique. I understood loyalty, understood team building, organization, planning, things like that, team chemistry.
Planning?
Yeah, planning. We're going to hit this lick, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But that's where I got it from. I got it public speaking. You know, one thing I learned from fist fighting people in public, man, like, man, once you get good at it, it's kind of addictive. But I also take my public speaking skills to that. Because when you step out in front of a group of people and get ready to fight somebody, you put a lot on the line as a kid. Because you don't got shit as it is. You already broke. You live with your parents. So all you got is your little reputation. That's basically all you really got. So if you step out there in front of everybody, get beat up, everybody gonna clown you, then somebody else gonna want to do it. So, you know, and I wasn't the one with the hands, you know, like I wasn't the man with the hands. I know what helped me survive in my neighborhood was my joke telling ability. But again, that goes back to, you hear some comedians talk about that. I got good at telling jokes. I was telling jokes to niggas in the hood. So that's kind of what my role. I was like the funny guy. I wasn't trying to be in no gang or nothing like that. But I still hung around some, you know what I'm saying, some people that were kind of involved, not too much, but to a certain degree, where it kind of rubbed off on me, if it's true. But yeah.
So
I've taken some good things. So that's the ghetto I'm talking about. And when I am acting ghetto, I'm just doing it trying to be funny. I like to imitate person that, you know, do imitations of different ghetto accents.
So you changing up.
Well, I'm explaining, but I'm going in deeper.
It's either you are or you're not.
I am.
Okay.
But I'm taking the good parts of it. Yeah, I'm taking the good from the ghetto. It's good in the ghetto. I'm here to say
So that's what you think is the good from the ghetto.
Yeah, I got something good. I took something positive from it.
Okay, so the only thing good I take from being the ghetto is like persevering and becoming not ghetto.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like that's the only thing I think that's positive.
But it's got some good in it.
It's like the people who are going to overcome and persevere is and get out of that mindset. That's the only positive. Like, oh, that's a strong brother or that's a strong sister.
Yeah, it's a lot to overcome. It is a lot to overcome. You know what helped me the most? Langston University, School of Business. It helped me out a lot. It put me in a professional mindset. I think with a lot of people, you get so stuck in that ghetto mindset that you don't know any other way to be. And when I went, you know, in Langston University School of Business, they had the requirement you had to wear dress clothes.
Oh yeah, I wear that goddamn shit.
Shit, you want to come to class? If you want to come to class, you is. If you want to be able, they go to not let you in class, and so I had to invest in it. Then I started liking the way I look. You know what I'm saying? Then I started liking, you know, enjoying being, you know, doing something different. But it started with the way I dressed. The way I dressed kind of changed the way I thought about myself, probably because I was looking in the mirror every day how I looked.
Do you feel like it made you more confident?
Oh yeah.
Easily.
Extremely more confident.
So when I throw on a suit,
it made me
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. When I throw on a suit, I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh my God, Jesus, I'm killing this shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But you gotta think back in like the 50s and 40s and stuff, black people, that was like the standard. It wasn't like no hoop shorts, you know, sagging in your hoop shorts and your so it's like black people carried themselves really well back in those times. And I think that's kind of what's missing now. Yeah, we kind of lost that formula, but I do appreciate Langston doing that because I remember that too. Yeah, and I remember when you started wearing dress clothes all the time.
Yeah,
so
Langston University.
So we do have some off-camera guests, and I would like to ask them, are y'all ghetto?
Don't currently? Because we know you.
Actually, I was going to say that. I feel like maybe it's an in-between if you want to call it, but I feel like there's certain times that I do have to have a different tone or a different approach. But some people call it ghetto. To me, it's just the circumstance, the situation.
So you codes? They call it code switching.
I don't feel like it's that.
That's what I don't call it that. Yeah. I'm just saying that's why I heard other woke black people call it on YouTube.
Okay, got you. I don't call it that, but if that's what it's called, yeah.
Just adjusting to your surroundings.
Yeah, adjusting to my surroundings.
So you was like a superpower.
If you want to call it that.
Make me go.
So let me ask, why don't you talk the same way you talk amongst us, amongst everybody? I don't think you even talk like crazy anyway, in general, but...
I don't feel like I do either, but even if I'm like with y'all, I'm more comfortable per se.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm at work, I'm at work. I'm in a professional setting. So yes, I'm going to conduct things a little differently.
How about y'all? How about you go out to a bar with your coworkers?
I may not be as relaxed.
You still gonna be a little tight, yeah.
I'm gonna let loose because I'm not at work, but at the same time, I don't know you like that, so I hold you at a certain distance. I interact with you at a certain kind of way.
So is it until you get more comfortable with that person, those people?
Yeah, maybe that's it as well.
Okay, that makes sense. What about you? We won't say no names because y'all ain't on camera.
I feel like I have ghetto tendencies, but I don't change who I am at all. Like whoever I'm around.
You pretty much, yeah.
I'm always the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like I usually don't use the N-word that much anyway. So
Yeah, but you think ghetto like that?
I know I'm not.
That's
funny
yeah,
though.
that's funny.
Like
Yeah.
the funny thing is that like when you say that, but like the people I work with, like say for instance, like my the job I spend most of my time at in the medical field, they thought I was.
That's funny.
They did, and like, but like everywhere else I go, like they don't think that. But me personally, I don't feel like I don't really feel like I'm ghetto. I feel like I can act out if I have to, but like personally, I just feel like I am who I am.
That's
Right.
how, yeah.
That's
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel. Me personally, I feel like if I can't act the way I act here around my coworkers or whoever, it's like I feel like why would I make myself uncomfortable?
Yeah, I can't.
It's like granted, I do occasionally. I don't typically try not to use the N-word. I try to avoid that from my context because I don't want white people saying, "Why the hell am I saying it?" Because first of all, it's just a word. I don't really care. But it's like if we gonna demand somebody not to say it, I shouldn't be saying it either. But anyways, I try to act, and I do. I ain't no try. It's like at work, I crack the same type of jokes I crack in here, and they be like, "Sure, you." But yeah. But it's like I know how to word things where it's not inappropriate, but they be but they still laugh like, "Whoa, okay, sure." I see kind of. So it's like I still act the same. I'm still like that. I'm reserved, but then they find out I talk. They be like, "Whoa, you talk?" I'm like, yeah. It's like I'm reserved most of the time. You gotta talk to me something of interest. But I do every day in my everyday life at home. I don't use the N-word. Like my kids be like, "What the hell is that?" Like they don't know like curse words. They be like, "Whoa, did you hear that curse word?" I be like, "Yeah." I like don't. Cool. Yeah, I was like, that's just them. But they don't even know I curse. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like in most of my everyday life, the most I say the N-word is here. And it's not even on camera. Because even on camera, I'd be like, N-word. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like I might use it like a couple times a week. And it's really on accident because I grew up that way and it's kind of been instilled. Like my parents call me N-words. So it's like, it's kind of been instilled in me. It's like a bad habit.
It's one of my favorite words.
We know.
It's one of my favorites. But I'm going to tell y'all something funny. In this book right here, it's my first book I wrote without cussing. No cuss words.
That's impressive.
Man, because I love cussing in books.
We've had that talk a lot.
Yeah.
Watch your mouth around my kids.
I know, yeah. But see, because of that, though, that's how I'm able to turn that stuff off, man. I can turn it on and turn it off. I see who I'm around. I say, man, they probably ain't with this kind of talk. So let me not, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be, like I said, I don't want to be infringing on nobody because of how I feel. Because it's all just words. I don't care how I talk. I can talk like this. Like I wasn't raised to talk like this. That's how I picked up on rap culture. My slang, and when I start talking to, because y'all know I got all them accents. You know, what it do, shouting and all that. Well, yo, what's the deal, B? Yo, I seen Shorty over there, she was looking mad crazy. I slapped that nigga in the face with a kufi and them niggas. You know what I'm saying? I could do those, but it's all from the rap music. It ain't from my mama now. You know what I'm saying? Like I just grew up talking like that. But like we said, it's just words.
Yeah, it is just it is
all this stuff is words.
I definitely agree with you on this. Just word. Like I didn't start cursing until my senior year in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause mom was like, "What's wrong with you, son? Do you even curse?" I was like, "Shit." I was like, "Well, I can't believe I said that." Like I literally didn't curse until I was like damn near 18. I didn't say any curse, and my mama cursed like a sailor. See, camera went off.
Damn.
I know
we just run it back. How you know?
Because you only had 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, we was on it. I'm disrespecting my shit.
Yeah, so I used to curse like a sailor during, my parents used to curse like a sailor. That's how they communicated. That's how they grew up. But it's like a point in my life, I was like, I'm never cursing. And then my coach got me to curse. And then I've been saying a few curse words ever since then, unfortunately. But it's not even comfortable. Like, even when I curse now, I'm like, that seems weird. It don't seem my natural. It don't seem like my natural self.
I'm a Richard Pryor type, so.
So let me go and wrap this up with a few more questions. How do you overcome being ghetto? And should you overcome?
Yeah, you should overcome the urge to be the bad ghetto, the nasty ghetto, the illogical thinking ghetto, over emotional ghetto. You should want to overcome that. And the way I overcame it was giving my life back to God, just letting God take over the stuff that I'm doing.
Hold on. So you think ghetto has positive attributes, right?
It does. It has some positive attributes.
So would you rather a community of ghetto blacks or a community of blacks?
Blacks. Because the ghetto, we just call it ghetto, but the positive thing I took out of the ghetto can be developed in a suburban community as well.
So what positives come out of?
Like I said, teamwork.
You can get that out of
and being in the game.
The regular blacks, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can get it from being regular black. You can get it without the ghetto.
Without the death.
That's what I'm saying.
Trauma.
That's what I'm saying. You can get it without the destruction. It's just destruction. But I'm just speaking on the good that I got from it. I'm not saying,
from your personal.
That's what I'm just saying
from my personal experience.
But if I had to choose one, I'm gonna go with the regular stuff because you're gonna get more done without having to process all that trauma and shit and get over that.
Amazing.
You know what I'm saying? Because you still got to work through the trauma and dig. It's like, I'm gonna describe it like this. It's almost like digging through trash for treasure. You gotta dig through a lot of stuff in the ghetto that's wrong with it to find the goodness in it. Because it got some layers of just stuff that's not good for anyone.
Well, I've been to a few ghettos, and let me tell you, from different countries to the United States, and you'll be digging forever. I prefer not to. I live in what people still call the hood. I try to stay around in my community to be like one of those people. Be like, yeah, I'm gonna build it up. But let me just be honest. It's a little tough. It's a little tough. It's a little rough around the edges. I experienced some things, and I don't want to say it on camera because it's going to sound like I'm just dissing my community. But it's the actual factuals. I hear a lot of people talking about stuff that goes on in the black community, but they move far away from the black community, especially in my specific area. It's like, how can you speak about, and this area is the east side. It's like, how can you speak about this area? You ain't lived over there in 15, 20 years. I've been living there for 40 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I see the stuff that goes on every day. I see the pros and the cons. I see the potential. And, you know, it's like, you'll be digging forever trying to find that gold.
It's there, though.
Yeah, it's deep down in the trash.
You got to dig. You got to be willing to dig, you know. That's why I say, fuck that. You better just go for yourself. Don't try to find it in the ghetto. Find it in you. Yeah.
So my final question, do you think most black people are ghetto?
No, not at all.
If you could put a percentage on it, what would you
35%.
That's fair. Yeah.
35%. Mm-hmm. Because even people that live in the ghetto ain't even ghetto like that.
Yeah.
It's not a high percentage. That's why I be tired of them rappers lying. Ain't nobody getting shot that much. They getting shot quite a bit, but it's usually be between wars and stuff like that, and those guys usually get caught. They get put off the street after they
it's
get
35% of people shooting up the 100%.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the other 70%. Yeah.
And it's always, like I said, once you catch 2 or 3 bodies, somebody gonna tell on you. Somebody gonna get, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you start killing 2 or 3 people, you be lucky to get to 5.
And
you know what I'm saying?
And I'm not trying
to get to 5 without getting killed or going to prison.
I don't want to. 35% is still a little bit too high.
It's very high, but still.
But I'm saying it's not the majority. It is. There's some people who misled, but they're not ghetto. You know what I'm saying? But it's like they live in the ghetto maybe. But I do understand the stereotypes because I have cousins and stuff, and I'll look at him like, oh, he look like he a popper. He popped somebody, but it's like he like soft as a butterfly. But like you look at him, like got the dreads, probably got the Draco in his underwear. Like, yeah, but it's like he just got that because that's the surround. It's like, man, give me that gun. He's like, oh, okay. But it's like, but I understand. Yeah,
but it's also been romanticized. Mm-hmm. Being ghetto is considered fun, especially amongst children. That's why they love rap music the most.
Is there a difference between being ghetto and being hood?
No, it's the same thing.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, it's like ghetto is being hood. It's like glorifying the negative consequences of growing up in trauma, like gang banging,
no
selling dope,
syndrome.
Yeah, it's like somebody shoots up your neighbor's house. You're like, oh, I can't snitch. You gotta work every day. What are you talking about? You ain't no criminal.
Work every day though?
Even if you don't work every day, are you a criminal or were you involved in the crime? You should be telling on that person who shot up your neighbor's house. And if you see somebody robbing your neighbor, you should be snitching on them. If you stay next door to me, if I knew you or not, and I seen somebody unfamiliar, I'm like, hey, somebody on my neighbor's porch looking a little unfamiliar. But in our culture, the ghetto black culture, it's like, nah, you a snitch. It's like, that's how it should be. That's like neighborhood watch. You're supposed to protect your community. How are you supposed to be claiming you're a tribe, but you believe in no snitching?
What kind of, remember we talking about
like protect the tribe.
How
you supposed to protect the tribe
to raise the child? What kind of village is that?
Yeah, what's
y'all let my child get killed out here and want nobody tell nothing to bring this person off the streets. Mm-hmm. And that's why I love that episode on The Wire when they the police to get the crime down. He took all the ghetto black people that was doing crack and all that, and selling crack, and he put them in an abandoned area. And he let them sell crack and shoot each other.
Kill each other.
Yeah. I say the same thing. I say like on that movie.
What's the name?
Gangs of New York. Have you seen Gangs of New York? You ain't seen Gangs of New York with Leonardo DiCaprio? Oh, that shit fire. So in the Gangs of New York, they got together, and this is back in the old New York. They was Gangs of New York. They hilltoppers.
Like the 20s?
Yeah. Like, no, it was Civil War time. This is during the Civil War era. Like, so during that time. 60s type shit. Yeah.
No, it couldn't be the...
1860, something like that. 1862.
Yeah.
I think but it was around that time. And, these niggas out in New York, bro, this when it was so small. And so, them niggas met up and said, all right, we're going to have a war. And we're going to go here. We're going to meet here at this time. What's the weapons of choice? Knives, axes, bats, hands. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we link up and we do this because at the end of the day, even though, people don't know these stories behind this gangbanging stuff, but when I'm listening to these old guys that, I don't know their names, but they was talking about how all this stuff got started off with the rolling 60s and the 8-track.
Talking about them California.
Yeah. All of this stuff
the
started.
Old Melvin Farmer.
Yeah. So these fools tell the story about, they told the story.
Negroes.
The gang wars in California was essentially started by a beef over a female between some kids. And somebody got killed behind it. And so they killed somebody else. And then they killed two people. And then it turned into this fucking cycle of a lot of dead bodies.
Some kids started a gang that adults are following.
Yeah, basically. And now it's all this killing about it. So it's just like, if they're going to keep killing each other, it's like, well, fuck it. Just give them an empty field. And every month, let them go out there and do their thing.
You know what
I'm saying? Let them go out there, they're going to keep fighting. Let them go out there and you going to gang bang and it's a war. It's like, well, fuck, why you shooting up the house where grandma stay at?
And this is trickled into all cultures.
Yeah.
Like Asians, black, white.
Yeah, of course. And
so I think we should give them a whole state.
Do your thing.
And let them do their thing.
Let them have California.
And eliminate each other. Let them have California. Yeah,
California. They got a lot of room out there.
And it's pretty. It's pretty.
Yeah, it look nice. Yeah, so when they get done, they can de-traumatize themselves from the nice area, the beach. You know what I'm saying? We can take the bodies and just throw the bodies right in the beach.
You can't leave until you be like, okay, this is crazy.
I give up. You gotta drop your ring.
You gotta wave a white flag. You gotta wave a white flag.
Yeah, you gotta do like Quando Rondo did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta
publicly.
You gotta let it go. But I get it. The war is on. The war is on. And if you signed up for gangbanging, then you gotta go ahead and do it. You gotta fight back. You're in the war. You signed up for it.
So my final thoughts on this. What's the difference between regular and ghetto blacks? I do believe there's two differences. I am a black person. I'm not a ghetto black. I am under the Booker T Foundation. I'm not under the Melvin Farmer or the Gangbanging Foundation. I'm under when black people was successful and we were the people to look up to. That's the people I look up to. like I keep using Booker T because he's just one of the most amazing black people ever. But it's like he was like a standard man. It's like even white people admired him, and in the time where they said white people hated us, but that's a little over exaggerated. Even he would account for that if y'all read his book. But anyways, there are people that falls under that category, and I think that most of us should. So I do think there are two different type of black people, and I think that we should eliminate the ghetto blacks. I think it's a cancer to our culture.
I do. I agree. And the best way to do that is to like, subscribe, and comment about this video. Share it with your people. If you do that and you're ghetto black, it'll all go away. As soon as you do it, you'll see the change happen. But it ain't gonna happen if you don't start sharing this and talk, and let's talk about it, so you can get past your ghetto black syndrome. GBS. Come see me. I got therapy sessions. Check my calendar. The link will be below in the description. If you want to sign up for some therapy, come holler at me.
You gotta put your price on the screen like nah.
Three
only
easy
for
payments.
3 easy. Yeah.
I'm not a kinesiologist. Yeah. I know how the body moves, but I can't tell you, the nuts and bolts of kinesiology. So that's one thing that you have to be able to do is learn who does have that knowledge and learn how to, access it from or extract that from.
And to add to that, that's even after you have to recognize it first. So you might not even know till you're 40. Some people recognize it earlier, some people recognize it later. So just to add to that little comment you said.
Can you repeat that question? I want to make sure I answer this question correctly.
Surrounded by depression, no niggas in wheelchairs. Used to tease me about my sneaks. That shit was weak. Then I met a man who ain't had no feet. Shit get deep. Stop complaining about the small shit. Let's catch a vibe. Smoking Zaza with my tribe. Sipping Bella with my guys. I've been vibing with my kids. That's precious. Build the bear for blessing. Norges cocoa melon. That's the closest thing to heaven if you ask me. I stay ready for the war.